crowds. Alice.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him. Give it up for Uncle Joe Benson!
Thank you for that.
I promise.
There seem to be a few party animals in the house tonight. Am I correct on this? Over there on that side, we have no time for weakness. This is a rock and roll event. Are you guys ready to go? Come on over here. I think we're set. We got a little party thing going on. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank for supporting the Sound, which is the finest radio station I've ever worked at. I had somebody introduced to you here. Perhaps you've heard of him before. Next to his wife, Linda, I've known this guy longer than anyone, and somehow I've avoided jail. These things happen. I got a guy here that's from the same background I am. We work our butts off. You get a focus on something and you go for it. And one of the basic rules in radio, which are followed whether you want to be successful, that's what you do. You assemble the best team around you can, and he has assembled the best team I've ever seen in Los Angeles, much less any place else. I also know, plus me, thank you. Okay, is that what she said? Yeah, we'll stick with that version of it right there. The other thing is, you make a promise to someone, you're going to come through. This guy has delivered every time I've known him for the last, 43 years, I think, something like that. He's always there, he's as good as his word, he works really hard, and let me tell you, this might not be a surprise to hardcore fans. No matter how he talks, this guy loves his family to death. Yeah. Just like that. And I think we all can agree that's a very necessary thing to make it in life. And if you make it to 60, there's a reason to celebrate. Will you please welcome our friend, Mark Hudson! What's up, the people?
Nice. All right, now, I normally would say we're just going to rush through this. But tonight is a special evening and there will be no rushing. I want to introduce a lot of people and say a couple of things. First of all, let me say that this, along with a couple of other things, is available through markinthemorning.com. It is the sweatshirt, we've got the coffee mugs, and when you buy this, you support, like for example, when I tell Danny, go out and get a fire extinguisher, in case the comedy gets too hot, we can put it out. He pays for that with the profit from this crowd. So go and get you a copy, and it's hot, so I'm going to take it off. All right. First and foremost, what about my 12-0 Carolina Panthers?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to be good because TC with Disney, I'm a vile pig. And I'm proud to say that. But I'm going to clean that up. I called today because there's a shot that we may go to the Super Bowl. So that you know, because I really do believe if you're in this room, you are near and dear to me. I'm looking at a lot of Mark and Linda, phenomenal, lick my balls. I called my ticket guy today in the event that we wind up in the Super Bowl. So that you know, right now, at this point, a single ticket to the Super Bowl, depending on where you want to sit, is between $8,000 and $10,000 a chair. So maybe Linda can't come. I'm just saying. All right, so I want to talk. I love the fact that I'm fighting fireworks during this. That makes it tough. I just wanted to introduce a couple of people to you. I first want to say that a lot of you, when I left the Mark and Brian program, honestly, I'm fighting for my life up here. Jesus Christ. I apologize. The crescendo will come. And TC, what are you doing? You're killing me. Good God. Let me say this. TC, who works for Disney, TC and I have done these kind of events for the last 20. Do you deal with this every night? Pretty much, yeah. TC and I have worked together for the past 25 years, and TC knows that when I'm involved, and I know that when he's involved, it's going to be the absolute very best. You people have come to a really fun party. So even after we're done, enjoy, rock this, have a great time. We have worked for the last 6 months on this. So TC, thank you every single time that you're involved. When I came to the sound, I didn't know Chris Santoyo. Chris is the creative services. He's the guy that does these type of events. It's his job. This entire thing has been on his shoulder. Chris Santoyo has impressed me at every single turn. Christopher, an excellent job, my friend. Well done. Thank you. There he is right there. Christopher, thank you. Another guy that I've worked with since KLOS deep, and now he's with me at the sound. Michael Haas, sales guy, Michael Haas. Now, in my mind, sales, they're scum, and they always will be. They can kiss every inch of my butt. But Michael Haas, there's a heart to what he does, and he goes beyond the sales. Michael, you're my friend. I love you, brother. Thank you. So shortly, and I'm about to introduce everybody that you love, all the voices that you hear on the program. But I want to say that when we come back from Christmas vacation, we're going to work the rest of this week. I've got next week, and then we're going to take a break. When we come back from Christmas break, while every other radio station is just warming up, they're kind of waking up, they're getting back into the new year, we're going to come back with a brand new announcement. That is going to be, we've been working on this announcement for the last year, since the day that I started. It's something that's going to involve each and every one of you, and I want you there when I make the announcement, and I want you there at the thing I'm going to talk to you about during that announcement. So be there. Now, before I bring the people out, a lot of you have listened to me for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
If it weren't for you who followed me from 25 years with Brian on the Mark and Brian program, and then I ventured into the world of podcasting with my wife Linda, cool stories, and now Mark in the Morning. I wanted each of you to know that if you're here, you are a key group, a core of people that I work 12 to 14 hours a day to make sure that you are entertained when you invite me into your home and your car. I can never, ever repay you or thank you enough for what you give me each and every day. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Now, I want to introduce you to a couple of people who I think you'll like after I left. Mark, please. Good Lord. When I left the Mark and Brian program, I ventured into the world of podcasting, and I somehow talked my wife into doing it with me. This is a woman I met 34 years ago. We've been married for 33 years, and we still have sex face to face. Please welcome my wife, Skeeter.
These fireworks, I hear every freaking night.
She ain't talking about that literally. You know what I'm saying? When we had our firstborn, Matthew, Matt was a great kid. He slept 12 hours a night, and we thought, what's everybody bitching about? Raising kids is nothing. And then Amy came. She bitched and screamed and cried for weeks. It would never stop. And she's still bitching. Our second-born, Amy Jo Lynn Thompson. Our firstborn, with our kids, with all of our kids, like those of you that are parents, you do what you can. You introduce your kids to, karate and baseball and soccer and whatever. Try to find something they like. And with Matt, nothing worked. He didn't like any of it. One day I was out in the drum room and I'm just banging around, and Matt comes up and he's 8. And he said, "What's that about?" And I showed him the simplest little thing. 3 months later, I drive home from work and I hear drumming from the drum room, and I stopped and I walked in. And Matt was in there at the age of 8, and he was already better than I was after a lifelong of drumming. And I told him, "You're better at that than I've ever been at anything." My son, firstborn, along with the guy who's been doing the fill in the blank that you hear on Mark in the Morning, Frank Cato. Matthew Thompson and Frank Cato.
Yeah.
By the way, Matt and Frank have another session on Thursday, 2 brand new songs that you'll enjoy. Now, those of you that love 100.3 The Sound, raise your, hang on.
To say which one's Matt and which one's Frank.
That's Matt and that's Frank, and they're both plastered right now. Now, those of you that love 100.3 The Sound, raise your hand.
Yeah.
Out of 45 years, I've never had the opportunity to work with a smarter radio programmer than this guy that I'm going to bring up. Whatever you hear coming through the speakers on the sound originated in his head. He writes every promo. He meets with us on the morning show every day and gives us tips and hints and things he thinks will make the show better. I've never been with a smarter radio guy than this one. I love him to death. Please welcome Mr. Dave Beason.
Yeah,
Also, a year ago, actually it's been 2 years ago, I got a phone call from my attorney who said the Sound has reached out and they want you to do their morning show. I took their first phone call along with Dave, it was the general manager, and they said, you can do anything you want, you can do it from any place you want, but you're the one I want. I will never be able to repay or rethank you and the general manager, Mr. Peter Burton. And I don't for the life of me know exactly what Peter does. He has an office and he dresses up each day. Let's hear it again for this group of folks.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. See you soon. Now, years ago when I was with the Mark and Brian program, this kid kept calling. He was 18, 19. He was funny and he played baseball for UCLA Bruins. And I went to watch him play. He hit a baseball further than anybody I've seen in my life. He just left the San Diego Padres. 3 days ago, he signed with the Kansas City Royals, and he's working with us on Mark in the Morning when he can. Please welcome Mr. Cody Decker.
Hi, Cody.
Nothing to say. Nice. I was wanting somebody who could review movies for the program.
Great.
And I asked Gina, who's got the best Rolodex in the business, I said, do you have anybody? She goes, I've got the girl. She is the senior editor for Rotten Tomatoes. Please welcome the super smoking hot Gray Drake.
Yeah, great.
I've seen the new Star Wars movie and I just want to spoil it for everyone and tell you that Yoda dies again. I'm just kidding, I haven't seen it. Nobody's seen it. Not even you, and it's your birthday. Look at what they're doing.
It's the finale. Let's hear it for the finale, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Greg. This next guy I was introduced to through Andy. And he came in, and Andy kept trying to explain to me what it is that he does. He's got these files that he can look at and dissect and do, and I didn't understand, and I just forgot it. And Andy kept bringing it up. So then, he finally, I agree, calm down, Christian. It's not time yet. He comes in, and he had an index card with all the stuff that he needed. And he then proceeded to blow me away with what he does. But that's not the main thing. I invited him to stay in the room after he finishes dissecting and just interact with us. He is rude and vile and hysterical. And he dissects the music so you don't have to. Please, Mr. Christian Hand.
Yeah, Christian.
It's at King Shrut on Instagram.
I met this guy on Mark and Brian. He called in. He listened to the show, and he basically, for a job, he covers the NFL for the Los Angeles Times. Oh, is it a thing? Hang on, it's a thing. Excuse me. So he called the Mark and Brian program and he wanted to give his opinion on the playoffs of the NFL. He covers the NFL for the Los Angeles Times, and he is a sweetheart of a dude. Please welcome from the Slam, Mr. Sam Farmer. Thank you, Sammy. This group right here, thank you so much, everybody, for what you do. Cody, I hope you don't make it in the pros so I can hire you full time. Let's hear it for him. There's not room on this small stage for the rest. Cody loves the attention so much he dares to leave. Now, when Peter and Dave first called, they told me you can hire anybody you want. And I was determined that I was going to get it right. This is the core group of those that make up Mark in the Morning. One of the jobs that was not really that important, it's just simply answering the phones. Which, who can't do that? And, you know, we met several people. They wanted the job. And one of the girls that I liked, because she had a nice smile and she was Latina, I thought that was a nice beat. And we thought, she'll work. I don't know that there's anybody on the staff of Mark in the Morning that has been more impressive with her sense of humor, her smart wit, her smart mouth, and the fact that she is a bitch each and every day. Miss Jackie Delgado.
I only want to say, when you call in tomorrow, make sure you have a point.
And I want to make sure that my burrito's where I want it to be each and every day. I've said each and every day, and I mean it, I've got the best Jews in the business. I got 3 of them. I put my Jews up against any of your Jews. We win every day. Jew number 1. I've never been around a better production guy. I've never been around a nicer individual, and he is the host of Mike TV, Mr. Mikey Sherry.
Yeah!
Jew number 2. When the Sound reached out about this, one of the most important and pivotal parts of my job is to find a producer who cares as much about what comes out of the speakers as I do. I only had one name in mind, and when I first called him, he turned me down. He had just gotten his real estate license, and he thought he was going to become a millionaire. Quickly, he understood that that's not going to happen. So he called me back, and he goes, that production job, is that still around? Or? I said, yes, it is. He continues to learn and improve and get better every day. My producer, Daniel Mizrahi.
Hey, Danny.
With the new job, and knowing that I'm going to be doing it in North Carolina for a good part of the time, I knew that I needed somebody who could leave the studio and go out into the public and do the kind of crap that I normally might do myself. And I knew it needed to be somebody with an extraordinary personality and a talent. And I could have gone out and done a nationwide search and found somebody good, but I knew that I had it right under my own roof. And I called her and I told her what I was thinking. And she goes, "Oh, Dad, that's great, but I don't know how to do that." And I said, "You do know how to do it. I'm going to talk you through it, and you just put yourself on top of it." I don't know that there's a bigger